Great. Before we get started, I want you to think about a customer, your customer, and the average dollar value of a sale. Now, if you make multiple sales in a year or over the years, that initial sale turns into lots and lots of sales. And in fact, that's called, in technical jargon, the customer lifetime value of that customer. So it's all the sales that you can generate over the lifetime of that customer. And obviously, if that customer turns into a raving fan and brings other people in, that customer lifetime value can be doubled if they bring in one extra person, or if they bring in 3, and so on. Right, so now I am going to be artistic and I'm going to draw a bucket. Believe it or not, that's a bucket. So when you start off in your business, you spend dollars on advertising and marketing to basically get customers into your bucket. And after a while, your bucket starts to fill up with customers. However, over time, your bucket will actually spring leaks and you will, unfortunately, start to lose some of these customers. Now, remember though, when you actually lose a customer, you're not actually just losing this amount, you're actually losing the customer lifetime value of that customer and any referrals that they can bring in. So it's significant. Remember, it's not just that once-off sale that you're losing. So it would make sense then to plug those leaks. But to plug those leaks, you really need to understand why people are leaving in the first place, and it's not what you think. So I want you to remember some very interesting statistics and scary statistics. The first one is 9%. Now, 9% will leave because they get wooed away by the competition. The competition offers them, an amazing offer, price, etc. But it's only 9% that will leave because of your competition. Now this is interesting, 14%. It's only 14% that will leave because they are dissatisfied with your product or service. Most people focus all their energy on the great product, great service, thinking if they do that, people will stay with them, become raving fans, all those sorts of things, and it's definitely not the case. Now, the really scary statistic is 68%. Now, 68% will leave you because basically they feel unappreciated. They feel as if you don't care about them, you're indifferent. It's basically how you make them feel, and that's why they leave. Now, these statistics, I haven't made them up. You can Google them, do some research. You see there's been studies on this, so these statistics are for real. So now, then remember also, and I keep repeating it, when you lose a customer, you're not just losing that once-off sale, you're losing the customer lifetime value. Okay, and when you lose a customer, you've actually lost somebody who's the easiest, fastest, and the most profitable to sell to. Okay, and you've lost that referral source. So now that we understand what is causing the leaks, we can plug them with what I call and I'll just change the color on this. Won't be a moment. With what I call the R plug. Now, the great thing about this R plug concept, which we're going to talk about, is that not only will you plug these leaks and retain customers, but you can also apply the R plug to the customers that you've lost. Right, and some of these customers, because you've applied the R plug, will come back in. Now, after your current customers, the next easiest and fastest to sell to are in fact those lost customers. And you can also apply the R plug to the ones that have left. You can also apply the R plug to your customers so that they will buy more and more and more from you. And not only will they buy more and more from you, they will start raving about you to others, to their friends. They'll become raving fans, and they will actually, as a result of their raving, they will start to bring in other customers, referrals for you, and then you can apply the R plug. So suddenly your business is now getting into flow, and it's a whole lot easier and faster to make sales and a lot more profitable. And the thing too is, with this, you don't have to now spend so much money up here. So it's good news all round. Now, the more sophisticated name for the R plug is relationship marketing, which is about building relationships with your market. And relationship marketing, or RM for short, equals, in your business, it equals RRR. So retention, repeat business, and referrals. So relationship marketing is extremely powerful. So the question is, does this make sense to you in your business? And you might think, well, you know, I've got all this covered with emails and text messages and phone calls, and I've got social media, and every so often I meet with people. Well, if that was true, then that statistic of 68% wouldn't exist, because everybody does emails and text messages and phone calls and meetings here and there. So they all do a combination of that. So there's obviously something missing. So a proper relationship marketing system actually addresses that something missing. So a proper relationship marketing system basically addresses that 68% that we were talking about. So you really want to look for a relationship marketing system that has several criteria. First off, you want a relationship marketing system that makes people feel appreciated. Because if 68% are leaving because they don't feel appreciated, then you obviously need to have a system that makes them feel appreciated. It's really, you want something that touches people emotionally, and this really is the key. Loyalty comes from you making people feel good. It's all about the feeling. You also need a relationship marketing system that enables you to frequently make people feel appreciated. Okay, this is not a once-off. For every month that you're not in contact, you lose part of the relationship. And if you're not in contact over 12 months with somebody, you actually don't have a relationship. Okay. So you also need a relationship marketing system which extends the feeling of appreciation to the extent that they may even tell others as well. And very importantly, you need a relationship marketing system that can be automated. Otherwise, you'll just be full of intentions, you'll get busy, it won't happen, and your bucket will leak. And I fear that if you don't have such a system like this, you know, your bucket will leak all those customer lifetime values that we were talking about. So the thing is to ask yourself, are you prepared to spend a minimum of $15 per customer per year to ensure, to help ensure that you keep them? Are you prepared to spend a minimum of $15 on a customer to ensure that customer lifetime value? That is the question. So if the answer is no, then really appreciate your time, and if you know of other people that would be prepared to spend that $15, it'd be great. I'd really appreciate you introducing me. So if the answer is yes, then I would like to tell you about the system I recommend and why. And the system I recommend, and I'll just change the color. The system I recommend is called Send Out Cards. And the reason I recommend Send Out Cards is, and by the way, Send Out Cards enables you to send real cards, personalized cards in the post. So they're in the post, in an envelope with a real stamp. So, and the reason I recommend Send Out Cards is because it covers all the elements for a proper relationship management system. So when somebody receives a real card in the post saying effectively how much you appreciate them and how much you care about them, it makes them feel good. It makes them feel appreciated. So we tick that one off. With Send Out Cards, you can set up a series of cards to be sent out at a predetermined time interval, so you can frequently make people feel appreciated. So it covers the frequency. And people keep these cards. They put them on their desk or a table or the fridge, and every time they look at them, they'll think of you and probably smile. So you're definitely extending that feeling. And best of all, sending these cards can be automated. The system will schedule them or print them, post them. All you have to do essentially is press send. So Send Out Cards basically will separate you from the competition. You will literally stand out. So the thing is, does it work? Well, absolutely. There's a few people that come to mind. There's a guy, Jim McCall. He's a friend. He's a real estate agent in the States, and he directly attributes over $200,000 in extra commissions over the last 5 years to using this system. There's Gail Zintek, who basically grew their real estate business from a 35% referral-based business to over 98%. Wow. And the Send Out Cards was the main vehicle for doing this. And Annette Bow, she's in the who-who of finance in the States and the who-who of American Woman. She runs a mastermind for financial planners and recommends they all use Send Out Cards. And these advisors have seen an increase in their revenue from 30 to 150% as a result. So definitely Send Out Cards work. So if you are interested in looking at the relationship marketing system, there are different options that you can look at to get started.